So how do you find a niche for your YouTube channel? In this video, I will show you a very simple 5-step method that helps you to find your niche without overthinking it. I've been creating content on YouTube since 2019 on my other channel, and I can say that having a niche makes everything easier later. If you get this part right, everything else will become much easier on this platform. So let's start with talking about what a niche actually is. Let's imagine that you want to open a restaurant in the city you live. If you go to your friends and tell that you opened a restaurant, they'll be like, oh great, that's wonderful, what kind of restaurant you have? Is it gonna be a pizza restaurant, a fish restaurant, or an Italian one maybe? Because you won't be able to offer any kind of food, you have to specialize in something. Every restaurant specializes in something. Now when it comes to YouTube, it is actually the same thing. Now think like that, on YouTube there are categories. Finance, health, tech, relationships, and many others. There are many different categories on YouTube. But these categories are all very broad. Now inside each category, there are branches. Let's take finance, for example. Finance is a big category. But inside finance, we have different branches. Personal finance, investing, stock market, budgeting, cryptocurrency. They're all different branches inside finance. In other words, each of them are a niche. Instead of saying I make finance videos, that's too broad. You will say I make personal finance videos. Now that's your niche. Simple. Now the question you might ask is, why do I actually need a niche? Now let's say that you upload a video on YouTube. After your video is live, the YouTube algorithm immediately tries to match your content or any content with the right viewers. It goes out and starts showing your video to different groups of audiences on YouTube that it thinks they will click and watch your video. Now let's say your video is about cooking, and after the algorithm shows it to 3 different groups, let's say group 1 responds well with this video, they click and watch your video. However, group 2 and group 3 didn't click or watch your video. Now the algorithm collects information that the first audience group responds well with your content. If the first group clicks and watches your video, YouTube tries to show it to more people. The algorithm will try to find more people that are similar to group 1. And since group 2 and group 3 didn't respond well to your video, then it stops promoting for these groups. Now here comes the interesting part. Let's say you post another video, but this time the video is about investing. When you post that video about investing, what will the algorithm do? Since it has the information that the first group already responded well with your previous video, now it will also show your new video to this group again. But this time, the first group won't respond well because they are not interested with investing type of content. They were interested in cooking content. So what happens next is you will get lower clicks, lower watch time. So the algorithm will come to the conclusion that your video is not interesting, and it immediately stops promoting your video. Now let's imagine the opposite. The second video you posted is again about cooking, and the algorithm will show your videos again to these groups. And it will see that the first group will respond well with your video again. They click, watch, maybe subscribe to your channel. And the second and the third groups won't watch your video again. So now the algorithm understands that always these type of people, they watch your content. So it starts showing your content to more and more people who are like group 1. And immediately stops promoting your video to wrong groups. You simply making the job of the algorithm easier just because you are always posting videos on the same niche. So you will get more clicks, more watch time, more subscribers. YouTube understands your channel, it starts trusting you, and when the algorithm and people will start trusting you, they know what they expect from you, your channel will start growing successfully. That's why a niche matters. Okay, but how do you actually find a niche for your channel? Now let's talk about it. I will give you 5 simple steps for that. This is the first question you can ask yourself. Are you gonna do YouTube just for fun, for hobby, Or you want to treat your YouTube channel like a business, you want to make money from it, maybe even you want to leave your 9-to-5 job. Because if it is just gonna be a hobby, then you have more flexibility. You don't have to think that much about money, but it is still good that if you have a niche, still it will be great if you can reach to the right group of audience. On the other hand, if your channel is gonna be a business, then you need to be a bit more strategic because otherwise your YouTube channel won't become sustainable in the long term. So decide this first, hobby or business. And that brings us to step number 2. You want to make educational content or entertainment content. Here you need to decide what type of content you want to make. On YouTube, there are mainly 2 types of content, which is educational and entertainment. You either want to teach something with your content or you want to keep people engaged and entertained. Both of them work and both of them grow, but you should decide which direction you want to take your channel. Step number 3, your interests. Now this step is important because you shouldn't decide what niche you have based on how much money you make. First, you need to decide your interests, otherwise you will get burnt out quickly. Never decide your niche based on money first. Always think like, what can you talk about the entire day without getting bored? Because that's gonna be your channel in the long term and you shouldn't get bored about a specific topic that you want to talk. Now I want you to take a pen and a paper or use your computer and write down all of your interests. Fitness, gaming, technology, religion, photography, cars, basketball, cooking, any interest you have. Once you do that, you will understand that you actually have multiple interests, but you can't post on the same channel videos about photography, cars, and let's say fitness. You can't post all of them on the same channel. So you need to pick one of your interests and that will become your main niche. But how do you understand which of these interests you want to choose? And that brings us to the next step. You need to do some research for the earning potential. If you want to keep your channel as a hobby channel, you don't have to do that. You can skip it. But if you want to treat your channel as a business and you want to make money from it, then you need to do some research on the earning potentials of each of your interests. Because YouTube is very competitive now and you may not be able to get that many views at the beginning at least. So as a channel owner, as a business owner, you need to aim to maximize your earnings with the lowest amount of views. Now, which of these interests has the highest earning potential with the lowest amount of view count? Are other creators in this niche make money? Do they have a big following? Do they have sponsors? Do they sell digital products? Are there affiliate marketing opportunities? Is the ad revenue that YouTube pays higher than other niches? If you want to keep your channel sustainable in the long term, you need to do some research to understand the monetization opportunities. And step number 5, your expertise. Now, while deciding your niche, ask yourself this question: do you have enough knowledge about a specific field that you can talk enough consistently? You don't have to be an expert, by the way. It will be more than enough if you have just some knowledge. If you are maybe in front of 1 or 2 steps better than an absolute beginner who has no idea about that field. Because there will be always beginners, and if your knowledge is just enough to teach an absolute beginner, then you can pick that niche. And in the meantime, you will keep learning. You can teach what you learned new, you can teach what you already know, you can share your progress, and you can grow your channel within that niche. Keep in mind that you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be perfect just to start a YouTube channel about a specific field. Now, if you want to discover higher earning potential niches or higher growing niches on YouTube, let me know in the comments below and I will make the following video about that. Choosing and sticking to a niche is very important when it comes to YouTube growth. But there are also some very common beginner mistakes that you need to avoid. And if you want to learn more about these mistakes, make sure to watch the next video as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next video.